Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. But before we get into it, I'd like to thank our sponsor, OnPay. Without them, we could not be sharing these stories. Today on Atlanta Business Radio, we got Lindsay Hively, and she is with the Ballog. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am excited to learn about what you are up to. So can you tell us about the Ballog?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are an artisan market that carries all local, independent, and socially conscious brands. So we have locations in Serenbe, south of the city, and in downtown Alpharetta, and then, of course, our online store. But we're a mission-based company, meaning that everything that we carry has a story, all the makers that we carry.
So now, how did you get into this line of work?
Let's see, it was about 2012. My sister and I had a blog that we went around called You've Been Noted, and we would interview people that we thought were doing interesting things in the city in Atlanta, and just kind of a fun side project. And we found that a lot of people were not knowing each other, were not connecting. So we started having these night markets that we named the Ballog after our grandmother. And we would have about 10 or so people come in and have things that they were making or carrying and debut them there. And then we kind of modeled it after like a French salon concept where people were hopefully having engaging conversations and collaborating and meeting each other. And then we had the opportunity to open or have one of the night markets in Serenbe, and it went really well, and a space became available down there, and they asked us if we wanted to do a pop-up for the holidays. And so that was in 2014. And then the space was available, and we decided to stay. And then we opened a second location last fall in Alpharetta. And so now here we are. And so it's been a journey, but it was initially all local, because it was the night market. And then we kind of decided to expand, how were we able to expand with still keeping a mission? And that's where the socially conscious brands came from, and where we sought out more brands like that.
Now, had you ever kind of run a retail establishment before?
No, and that's where I left out an important factor, which was enter my mom, who is she works with us. So it's me, my sister, and my mom. Kelsey is my sister, and Kathy's my mom. And I actually was not really interested in doing a full-time retail shop, and my mom always wanted to, and that's what she had. Her background was in retail merchandising, and so she's so good at creating spaces and visuals, and she was excited to do it, and Kelsey really wanted to do it, and so she came in when the space became full time and wanted to take it on, and so she's definitely spearheaded that project, and then I've just started. I do more of the marketing and partnerships still, but she does all the full time stuff with the retail shop.
So now you have 2 retail shops, and then the pandemic hits. So what'd you learn there?
Oh my gosh. We're still learning. But yeah, that was definitely unexpected. We're grooving along, all the startup costs and everything. And then, of course, this happened in March, and we did close for 2 months. So the silver lining of that is it gave us time to really grow our online shop. I mean, up until that point, we only had the bandwidth to do about 15 or so, seasonal items at a time. And that was just what we had while we were opening other shops. And so during the pandemic, we've added hundreds. I think we're up to like about 500 items that are there now that are online. And so that was kind of the way we pivoted, was, just really diving in on the online and learning more digital marketing, tactics and things like that. And so that's what we've learned. And then I think we're kind of just unfortunately, we haven't been able to do the events, which we love so much. We love having, community events and bringing people together. And we were hosting workshops, and we had a full calendar year in 2020 for those type of things. And so those are all on hold, obviously. So we're anxious to get back to that when it's safe to do so. But so right now we're just kind of treading water a little bit. I mean, things are okay, again, because of the online, but we're just navigating this one day at a time right now.
Now, what's it like working with your family like this?
It's great. I would say it's great 90% of the time, which I think is a good amount. So we get along really well. And I think, the three of us really, each of us brings different, aspects to the shop. I mean, like I was saying before, Kathy, my mom, she's so amazing with visuals and creating spaces. And she just is so good at stuff like that it's just foreign to me. I mean, I'll look at a space and be like, how do I make this work? And that's just her expertise, and she loves it too. And then Kelsey's so good at curating and the buying and really diving into like big, longer projects. And then I really like finding the right collaborations with other local partners in the city and telling the Ballog story and our mission. And so I think it's just, we all kind of complete each other. And so I do another business, totally unrelated, but it's a sales rep company. And I do that with my dad and brother-in-law. And so we are just a family of entrepreneurs. And I think everybody kind of gets it. We like to have our hands in a lot of projects. And so, yeah, I think we work pretty well together.
Now, for those folks who have never worked with their family before, can you share some advice in terms of how do you kind of separate the family from the business, in the holidays or when do you have other siblings that aren't involved in any of the businesses?
I have one more sister, and actually she just started getting involved because she just moved back to the Atlanta area about 2 weeks ago. So she's been working in the Serenbe shop and doing such a great job down there. She is about to have another baby, but I think she'll be back more once the dust settles on that. But yeah, my advice would be, so yeah, she's involved. So pretty much, yeah, all the kids are involved, both my sisters. And then one of my brother-in-laws. And so, yeah, my advice would be, I think just understanding each other. Everybody works differently. Like I really like to have resolution right away. And if there's something, I like to make decisions quickly, and that's not how everybody operates. So sometimes I need to just understand, okay, Kelsey needs a minute to process this before she can make a decision. So I think just having patience with each other and understanding that, there's so many decisions to make and you all have to be aligned, which can be challenging. Or you all have to be on a united front, I would say, even if you're not aligned. But there's a lot of conversations behind the scenes about how to move forward with decision. And I feel like just respecting each other and listening to each other and being patient with each other is what I would say we have to do.
Now, how about resolving conflict? Like, is it a majority rules situation or do you always get consensus?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I feel like I feel like we do always just come to a conclusion together. I mean, I just think we naturally do respect each other. And so I think that as long as everybody's voice is heard, then I think we all kind of come to a conclusion of, it's not necessarily everybody takes a vote in majority rule. So I don't know if that's how I would say it, but I think that we all listen to each other and then kind of can come to a conclusion usually. I can't really think of an example of where we haven't been able to find a way to move forward that everybody's at least mostly happy with.
Now, in the shop and in the online shop as well, have you had kind of fell in love with some maker and then because of your work and efforts that you've helped them maybe reach a new level?
Yeah, I don't think we can take full responsibility for their success, but by any means, they're all successful in their own right. But I feel like, there's definitely been some that we've been along with their journey since the beginning. And it's been really exciting to see them, get bigger booths at America's Mart, knowing they were in our night market, 6-7 years ago. And so then to see them, be on bigger online retailers and see them have success. I definitely feel like we were one of the first places in the Atlanta area to carry Able, which is in Nashville. And they have become very huge. And so, again, we don't take responsibility for that by any means, but they being, kind of discovering them like on the earlier side and being fortunate enough to be one of their partners and carry them has been really cool. I mean, you're excited to see these companies succeed because they all are doing great things, and they're all, with Able, they're helping empower women and lift them out of poverty. And so it's for the greater good, and it's exciting to see everybody succeed.
Now, what's something that gets you all fired up and you're high-fiving each other? Is it when one of your makers, like all of a sudden gets kind of popular, or is it you get a new maker, or, what's kind of gets you all excited?
Yeah, I would say both of those things. I mean, I feel like, again, we're excited when we see anybody succeed that's doing good in the world. And then I feel like we just actually, one of the brands we're going to carry, we just found out last week is Glad and Young Studio. And they make leather goods and have these cool earrings that are, they're in Atlanta. And we've kind of admired their work. Like, they're just two cool girls, and we're excited to carry them. So that just comes to mind. So that was last week, but their response was really enthusiastic to be carried in our store. And so I feel like when you find somebody that just gets it and they're excited, and it's going to be, you just feel good. Like, you feel like it's going to be a good partnership. I think that when they're excited and then they say, "Oh, we like your mission." And I think that's for me. Like, when people say they like the mission or they get it, because I do feel like there's a lot of education that goes into it sometimes, where people are like, "Oh, well, why don't I just buy, it's $10 cheaper to buy this that was made, cheap overseas," or something like that. So kind of people that understand the mission, that really gets me excited, I think. And if we ever get applications for people that want to work and they say they found us and they're excited about the mission, that's the type of thing I think that keeps us going and excited.
Now, can you explain to the listeners why it's so important to support small businesses, especially in this time when everybody is really struggling and there's so much need out there? I would think that in your shop, not only are they getting to check the box of supporting small business, they're also checking the box of I'm really helping somebody with a cause and a mission, and it seems like you're really helping a lot of folks in a lot of different areas by doing the work you're doing.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like in these times right now, it's kind of like support the restaurants and shops that you want to see open when this is all said and done. I mean, I think like it's for a lot of us, it's easier to, click checkout on Amazon, and Amazon's going to be fine. They're going to make it. But, if you really love the taco shop down the street, be sure you're giving them some love during these times, because no one's everybody's taking a hit with all of this. And so if you want to see those restaurants and shops open after, just be sure you're supporting those places. That's as far as where I'm at right now. With regard to just shopping local in general, one of the inspirations for our doing the Ballog is The Localist, which is a book by Carrie Rollwagoner. And or Rollwagon, I always trip up on her name, but she came and did a Q&A with us, and she wrote a book, and she shopped local for a year, and it was just really interesting. And she has so many great tidbits about her experience. But one of the things that stands out to me is that every $10 you spend on a local business, about $6 of it is recirculated back into your community versus 1 or 3 at a big box chain. And so, where do you want your money going? Who do you want owning our community? I mean, I think right now we have so many out of towners kind of developers owning a lot of Atlanta. And if we want to kind of keep, our identity, we have to support each other and our neighbors, and help keep everybody in business here.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, this is the time you vote with your dollars of who you want to stick around. I mean,
absolutely. Yes.
It's really not more complicated than that. Now, for you, now that you can go online, are you finding that you're bringing in folks outside of the areas you serve now that the world really is available to you for online shopping?
Yes. And that's been really exciting, I think. We are getting people ordering stuff from all over the country. And definitely I would say specifically at Serenbe, that is kind of a I don't want to say tourist spot, but there's a lot of travelers that come through there, whether they're filming a movie or they are there for a convention or some type of weekend retreat. So there's a lot of people that shop and see us, and then they go on their way. And so this is a way for us to kind of have returning customers once they leave Serenbe. And so we've been really excited about the online shop.
So now, right now the strategy is just kind of lean on the website for the online, and then as because this is the pandemic it changes. It's every day's an adventure, right? Like right. We're open, we're closed. No, we're 6 feet apart. Only 5 people in the store. Like,
yes, definitely. It's challenging for sure. But yes, everybody can safely shop online. So that's a no-brainer. We're also offering private shopping, off hours. And so that, we've got a couple takers on that, but I would love to see more, because we're happy to, once the store is closed, have people come in and do private shopping that way too. So that's always available, and they would just contact us, on social media or on our email. On our website. And so those are two ways that we've kind of come up with, other than just the standard trying to limiting customers, wearing masks, sanitizing, all of that. Otherwise we're just, trying to navigate all of this. I mean, I think that's all we can kind of do right now. So I do think, fortunately, there has been people that are, wanting to have community at this time in some way. And so I think this does help, supporting local businesses is a way to kind of feel connected. And so I think it does bring some type of connection. So the past couple weeks have been pretty decent. But as far as sales go, but yeah, we're trying to figure it out. Right now, we're supposed to be buying for the holidays, and we just have no idea what that looks like. Like, will we be closed again? Will it be bigger than ever? We don't know. And so trying to predict what to buy right now. So it's, we're just taking one day at a time right now.
Now, are you finding that you're building not just one community, but two communities, one for the makers of people doing kind of social good, and then the other of the consumers of people who want to support people that are doing social good?
Definitely. And that was where I liked the events so much, because I feel like that really merged the two. We would do a pop-up or with a local maker, or one of my favorites that we did last year was we had a local artist come in and paint in our bay window. We did it twice, once with Christina Kwan in Atlanta and once with Tulip Magnolia. She's based in Athens. And they painted a live painting in the bay window. And that was just such a cool experience to see people watching them and thinking that was interesting. It's like almost like an analog form of entertainment. So just having people stop and look at them in the window, and then having people come through the door and say, "Oh, I follow Christina on Instagram. I was so excited to come see her paintings here and that she was in town." And so it really does kind of merge a lot of both of the groups, makers and the consumers. And I think we really reach that, when we do the events like that.
Well, congratulations on all your success, and thank you for doing what you're doing. It's so important. It's just a great story. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was great.
So now, if somebody wanted to learn more about what you're up to, what's the website and maybe some of the social media coordinates?
Yeah, it's just theballog.com, which is the Ballog is how you spell it. And that's all our handles for Instagram and Facebook. We're on Instagram probably a little bit more. But yeah, that's how you can find us.
Good stuff. Well, thank you again for sharing your story.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio. And remember, this work would not be possible without the support of our sponsor, OnPay. Please support them so we can continue to share these important stories.
Today's episode of Atlanta Business Radio is brought to you by OnPay. Built in Atlanta, OnPay is the top-rated payroll and HR software anywhere. Get 1 month free at onpay.com.